So the kids and I had an opportunity to help tag about 400 rainbow trout for a trout derby that was being held at Washawn Reservoir. We headed out of Reedley about 8 o'clock, a little after 8 o'clock in the morning. Expected to be a high of about 100 degrees that day, and so it was going to be nice to get up into the hills. As you can see, it was heavily overcast up there, nice and cool, about 70 degrees when we got there. We got there, a fish and game truck was already there. The rest of the crew had already set up. They had the net pens set up, and the fish were already in the net pens, and so we were a little, not late getting there, but we were getting there right as we were about to begin. And so as you can see here, we got some footage of the fish in the net pens. We had to tag about 400 fish, but we had well over 400 rainbow trout in the net pens. Here you can see we were just working on a standard boat dock, not very wide. The idea was to net a fish out of the net pen, bring it over to the table to be tagged. As you can see, that's happening here, so we've got multiple fish in the net at this point. Grabbing one fish, and then that's Heidi Eisner. She's inserting a Floyd tag just below the dorsal fin. Once the fish is tagged, it's placed in a 35-gallon trash can that's got some water in it, aerator, and some ice to help keep it cool before taking a boat ride out to the lake to a random place to be released. Fish didn't really cooperate all that much. They probably weren't too happy about getting a new piercing, but the system went pretty quickly. We eventually caught our groove. Of course, we became competitive. Had to teach James a little bit about getting multiple fish in the net each time. And as you'll see here in a little bit, it was my turn to net fish eventually. And I too netted multiple fish. You can see how active these fish were. We were looking for fish that were at least 12 inches in length, and sometimes they were a little bit too small, and so if they were too small, we call shorts, we let them go. See, after they're tagged, we rush them over to the bin. Here, Kylie was getting some underwater footage. You can see a few of the trout that were still hanging out near the dock. And keep in mind, we had to tag about 400 trout. That was footage of me actually applying a tag. I did quite a few myself, and then now it was my turn to net. As you can see, I got more than one fish in the net. I had a few shorts in there, so we let them go right near the dock. And then we bring over the fish that were long enough to be tagged. Of course, I was taking some razzing because I was giving James a hard time about netting multiple fish, and then I go and do the same thing. Took us about 3 hours, maybe about 3 hours to tag 100 fish, maybe a little under 3 hours, 2.5 hours maybe. We were moving pretty quickly after a while. Of course, you gotta have fun. Kylie got a chance to go out on the boat and release some of the fish. By the way, she shot most of this footage that we're editing together, so a lot of it is from her perspective. Here they're releasing the fish into the lake, all random spots. This was a Thursday, the derby was a Saturday, so the fish had a good little over 24 hours to acclimate to the water and disperse. Here Kylie she obviously doesn't like the fish, but she really wasn't too happy with her brother because he had just shoved a fish in her face and she got a mouthful of fish tail, so she was kind of upset with him. But what are other older brothers for, right? More underwater footage. A couple fish hanging out near the dock. And that's a great shot. Me and the kids getting to see what Dad used to do as a biologist. And of course, once the fun's all over, we got to take everything down. So here we are taking the nets apart. It just started to rain at this point. You can see some raindrops hitting the water surface here as Kylie's getting some more underwater footage of a trout. Temperature was starting to drop a little bit. It was a little below 70. We'd finished up. It was nice all day, about 70 degrees all day, overcast and breezy. Perfect weather for doing this. Last year it was really sunny and hot, and as we were heading down the hill, the storm was still coming in, so it started raining a lot harder, so we finished just in time. The weather was perfect up there. And just finishing cleaning up. There's Clifton, and then all the PVC pipes for the net screens or the net cages. And here's the crew. I got Clifton, Heidi, James, Kylie, and myself. Second year we've all worked on this project together. I know Heidi and Clifton has done it more in the past, but what a great time.